favorite thing about the dorms here is the fact that there's a light switch. It's 9:15 and the halls are still dark. And then in this section, the lights stay on for safety, but I think you can turn them off. I mean, I get the whole safety thing, but I feel like you could have like firelights and yeah. I have such bad tummy issues right now, and I feel so bad, but we're being brave today and going to class. We're actually being extra brave and going down the stairs. Maybe we aren't because I don't see any stairs over here. I think the elevator's not working. Where do I get out? Do I have to go all up? It's fine, I'll go all the way down the hall and end up somewhere I don't really know. Okay, there's stairs right next to the kitchen. Or, I don't really know. I'm going down the stairs. Well, because, I went downstairs and then I saw the sign on the elevator that says lift out of order. So, apparently the lift is out of order. Hopefully they fix it soon, but I think I'm gonna text the group chat that you gotta take the stairs. And, for being like the fire exit, the stairs are really short. Well, I left here 5 minutes ago in hopes that I would be where I need to be 5 minutes later, so hopefully I'm not late to class. I was kind of smushing my time short today because it's early. So the bus to the city campus looks like it's due any second now. And I've been eating some almonds, so kind of got here in the perfect time, because otherwise I probably would have had to wait longer, but I wasn't sure what exact time it would come. Let's hope it's here. Taking morning classes will get you a practically empty bus, sitting in the ideal location, because right in front of me is like the next stop thing. And if it takes as long as it did yesterday, I'll get there right on time because it came within 5 minutes. Still gotta find my class and stuff, so I'll probably be looking that up right now. Again, they have free Wi-Fi on all the public transportation. That's really nice. Once again, I didn't bring my AirPods. Yesterday I was fine, but today I was like, also I'm wishing I spoke a different language, because that guy's getting away with speaking as loud as he wants to in a different language. They've stopped and turned off the bus. I think this is like the end of the line. So maybe I will be a little late. We're still on here. Wait. It's been 6 or 7 minutes. Let's go. I'm definitely late for class though. You can't get the Wi-Fi when the bus is off. My NT lab is glitching, so I can't see my timetable. I don't really know what to do about it. It opened on browser, so I had to go to the Teaching and Learning building. So I'm gonna look on the map and see if I know where that is. Okay, I know where it is in association to the other buildings I was in yesterday, so hopefully I know where it is. There's a little strip mall that looks like the building on too, but there's an Aldi and a Dunkin' and a Starbucks.
Wilford Lane tram stop.
This is home. One of the stops is a pub. But anyway, PH for public house. I was thinking it was like whatever is in water or whatever. But I'm so tired. Look at all these willow trees.
Next stop,
That's the
Clifton Bridge
crazy
South.
thing for me. But having run a fan account, usually when people like ask you where you're from, I just say the US because so many people running fan accounts are from Brazil or India. And so I'm just saying like the US. That's where I'm from. And then if they're like, oh, me too, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm from like whatever state I'm in. Never like specific, but anyway, here I don't know like where to draw the line because it's not often that people ask, but if I like say like, oh, I'm like studying abroad or whatever, they'll be like, oh, where are you from? And so far I keep like, for some reason my go-to answer is Tennessee in the US because I would assume that they would like assume I was from the US or Canada, and I feel like it makes it easier to just say Tennessee. Maybe I should just be saying the US, but I'm just like Tennessee in the US. That's like my go-to answer. Just in case they don't know United States geography. But also in case they're like, yeah, no, duh, you're from the US.
For service up.
The other day, actually, my friends were trying to get me to do a southern accent because I said something about like, oh yeah, because we were like, yeah, we sort of like mimic people around us. I was like, yeah, when I'm talking to someone really southern, I'll slip into an accent, and they're like, do it, and I was like, it's so hard when I'm talking to you guys because I have like nothing to grab onto, and I'm like, the accents around me are like British and Australian, and I was like, I'm sorry guys, I can't do it on command. It's sad, but I need to practice. I absolutely love my Ginger Nation class already. One of the two professors is from Miami, and like half the class is international students, and all the British students are so nice. And the majority of students are actually, I think I'm gonna walk around to the other side of this building. I found the building I'm going to, but I'm just walking around it. I don't have to walk this way, do I? I don't know, I am. But the French students, the majority of the international students are French. They're so nice. And we all went to a meeting together. We had this online meeting. And so we all, they invited me because they like booked the library table to do the online meeting, and they invited me to join them when they found out that I had to go to it too. And so oh my gosh, and then we just all talked, and it was very, very nice. So the Arts and Humanities building has a sign that says like Global Lounge or whatever, and so I went in there, and there's just sort of this like lobby space, so that's where I sat yesterday. But it turns out that they actually have this like whole room that's like the Global Lounge, so now I know where that is. I'm headed to the bus stop. Hopefully it's early enough that the bus isn't too crowded, and it's a Wednesday afternoon, which I found out today. Oh, there is a bus there already. I found out today that, so maybe it is going to be crowded, because anyway, apparently they don't have afternoon classes on Wednesday, or like later afternoon, because that's when all the sports and societies meet, is Wednesday afternoons. So no one has classes Wednesday afternoons, and then I don't have any class on Thursday, which is nice. I feel like all the bus drivers in the city are so young. Like girls football. All the bus drivers are so young, like this, but like they just get out of the bus and like bathe. They're like my age. But Yeah, but I got on the bus because it was just stalling in here. Oh my gosh, what's that? Is that cricket? Girls rugby. And then boys rugby over there. Oh my gosh, I should just stay and watch them practice. That's kind of weird. But the fields are right across from the bus stop. And then again, everyone gets the afternoon off for sport. This sweatshirt is so warm and cozy. It's making me like not even need to zip up my coat. Like it's making me so warm. And I think it's like 50 out and it's not currently windy. So like, honestly, like very comfortable. So there was a bus and I saw the next bus coming, and so I was like, and the next bus I realized wasn't about to stop. I was so proud of myself. I flagged. I like went behind the bus and I was like, and I did it, and it's very similar to what it would be like in Massachusetts. I'm also like right on time. It's crazy. I mean, like the end of what I was sort of calculating. See, he almost ran the dude over. Like they don't stop here for anything. Like towards the end of my calculations. But right on time because it's like, well, I arrived 5 minutes after I thought I went to the bus stop, and then the bus came in 5 minutes. And so I was sort of like, okay, if I arrive at the bus stop at this time, then the next bus will come in 10 minutes, and like, then I'll get there and I'll have like 10 minutes to spare, like blah, blah, blah. I'm just re-entering my city era, and I'm doing it so well. In Massachusetts, the bus drivers never really care if you pay. I feel like they, like if anything fails, they just like wave you on. Like if you ever have like paying complications, you just like, but, and like you get on like last minute, they just drive away while you're like figuring out how to pay. But here, they like wait, and like I feel like if you couldn't pay, they just kick you off. The weather is so lovely. It's like a little bit windy, the perfect amount of windy. It's 50 degrees. Cloudy is like whatever, but nap time. The city is so busy at 1:30 on a Thursday. There's so many people walking around and there's so many people getting on this bus. It's just confusing. I hung out in the Global Lounge today. So much fun. And the guy that works there is American. Thank God. Finding American like staff members is just like a little piece of relief every time. The staff members here, apparently in Europe there's a program for like people to just like learn languages or whatever. So anyway, they get to like take language courses. And they were talking about all the different languages that they learn. Just so fascinating. Yeah, I'm gonna head back to the city, do some grocery shopping, filled up my water bottle, so that's good. They were celebrating Robert Burns today, so they had haggis and poetry and stuff. I tried a tiny little bite of the haggis. So yeah, it wasn't, it's usually like traditionally made in sheep's stomach. This one was not, so it was just the lung. Yeah. In my laundry era, am I Australian? So the other day I was just talking about how like Nottingham feels like such a safe city, blah blah blah. I was in class the other day and actually no, I don't remember the first time I heard it, but the other day someone was talking about it, and they said, they're like, oh yeah, Nottingham, whatever, and they were talking about like it has the nickname Shottingham. And then they're explaining it. There was a shooting here once, like 20 years ago. And they're like, yeah, so it's like known to like not be a safe place. And I said, there was a shooting here once 20 years ago. There's shootings where I live every day. There's shootings where I live constantly that never even make the local news. Because that's how common shootings are. I was talking to an Australian about it the other day. She said, that is insane. One time an American tourist came and killed an endangered fish, and it was all anyone talked about for weeks. It made all the headlines. It was like, that was it. And I was like, well, yeah, I feel really safe here. I don't know what to tell you. This is nothing. A shooting once 20 years ago. That's crazy. I can't even imagine. So, do you know anything about America? Which they do. Because every time I say I'm American, people are immediately like, oh my gosh, guns. And I'm like, no, yes, but no. It's really funny. I think most people assume like that I'm chill, but sometimes people are like, oh, you're American. And I'm like, you can tell me what you really think. And they're like, guns. And I'm like, yeah. It's always guns first, and it's usually abortion second. Yeah, and it's always the same opinion. And I'm like, I'm right with you. But I love America. I mean, it's only been like 6 days, and I'm like, wow. I love America. I love it there so much. Because going away from it, like, when you're there, you're like, really? Really? And then you leave and you're like, okay, it looks bad on paper, but it's nice when you're there. But I like it here. I do. It's funny. I think I've become way more American than I've ever been in my whole life. Because I'm like, suddenly there's this part in me that's like, I have to hold on to my identity. And like, I can't say football. I actually just can't. I like, people talk about it and I can be all cutesy and be like, oh yeah, football, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, when I'm like actually talking to people about it, I'm like, soccer. In America, we call it soccer. Which like, I'm not that kind of girl. I really, truly am not. But there's just this very American thing in me that's like, I cannot let go of this crucial part of my identity. It is soccer. It is soccer. And I spell words the American way. I see what you've written on the screen. I see that you've spelled colonization with an S. But I'm writing in my notes with a Z. You better believe it. Yeah. So, it just kind of comes out of nowhere and you're like, whoa, what is this? Patriotism. I've never felt that way before. Yeah. I was telling someone today, I was like, I can't say I'm proud to be an American. I don't think I'll ever say I'm proud to be an American. But I am an American. And I think I like being American. And I love America. I'm not proud of America, but I love America. I think that's a good distinction. You feel a certain like responsibility to represent your country well. And which in my case means constantly apologizing. But also educating. Not like, oh, I'm an American, I have to tell you the way things are, but also just like people are so curious. Everyone's so curious. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me tell you. And the things they're mostly curious about are politics, which is my favorite thing, that they want to talk about American politics. Everyone wants to talk about American politics, and I'm just eat it up. I eat it up. And I'm like, let me explain to you the entire political system. The other day I had to explain federalism, and I was like, this is my favorite thing, actually. Because I was talking to British people about something the other day, and I was like, yeah, this is actually the reason that this has happened is actually because holdover from colonization and, you know, the institutions that were put in place by, who was it again? The British. Yeah. Your fault. I did actually tell them that it was their fault. And then they didn't seem like super amused by it. I thought it was funny. So, and I was just like, just kidding, just joking. Obviously it wasn't you. Everyone I've talked to here, people here are so much more moderate, and there are opinions people have that, like, in America I would never even dabble in, because I'd be like, whoa, that goes against what I believe. I can't. But people here are so much more like give and take. There's just more of a culture of that, and there's way more a culture of like open political discussion, which I think is so important, as what I'm realizing. We don't talk about politics enough in America because it's so stigmatized to discuss. It's controversial, and you never have an open conversation about it. You don't have casual debates, you have arguments. And here it's just a casual debate, it's just a conversation, it's just a give and take. Everyone here is so much more moderate and just like interested in all the different pros and cons, and there's not that same like polarization. I was like, polarization. There's just not. And they don't have the same kind of culture of like rooting for like a politician, or even I feel like it's even more back and forth between like political parties. It's more open to discussion between political parties, and it's more of like what party suits your interests, your belief, blah blah blah, and you're voting for your party. You're never voting for like the specific person. And maybe you are, but I mean, we've yet to see it, but they've yet to see like idolization of politician type situation. And it just seems so much more healthy here to discuss openly about politics, because I think it allows for a healthier relationship with politics. And I think moderatism is really, really healthy. I'm definitely not moderate, but I really appreciate how moderate people are here. I think because I'm talking to all these people, I'm like, wow, I should really be more open-minded about the other side. And then I sort of think about how it impacts me directly. I'm like, no, it like the polarization like is so real on the ground, because you're on the ground in America, and it's so polarized that like it's threatening to even slightly agree with the other side, because it's just so threatening to your rights and your everything. But it's also so like, I think compassion and empathy are so important, because we have such a polarized system where people are like, oh, I hate these other people, and I am definitely like strong on one side, but I hate when Americans are like, oh, blah blah blah, about like a whole group of like a whole political party, because it just makes it even more polarized. And it's just like, so insufferable to me. And it's just so beautiful. Like, I really, really appreciate the way people talk openly about different opinions here. And it's just like a constant conversation. And even just, it's not just like British people, because I've been talking to a lot of international students about politics. And it just seems like everyone but Americans are just so much more interested in like having real discussions instead of arguments, which I just really, really like. I think it's really, really healthy. Every time it's afternoon time and I'm in my room, I'm looking at all these things that need to be cleaned and organized, and I'm just like so exhausted. And every time it's night, I'm like, okay, let's go. But the past few nights I've been like staying out really late and everything. I mean, it's like 1 a.m. right now, but it's better than it has been recently. So I've basically been like forcing myself to go to bed instead of like doing all these things that I want to do. But right now it's like my night in. It's Friday night, just taking a chill night. Tomorrow's a fairly chill day. Like, I'm having a chill weekend, and I'm still like getting up in the morning to do stuff. So like having a set like plan and everything, especially to get me out of bed to like cure this jet lag that's never ending because I'm staying out all night. So yeah, so I'm still getting up in the morning, and I'm probably gonna be like, oh, I'm so tired because I didn't go to bed until like whenever. But while I'm still up, I don't want to stay up very long. So like I don't want to like commit to like calling someone or watching something or something like that, because like I'll be sucked into it. Cleaning, I can stop whenever. This is what my room looks like now. Obviously it's not perfect, but I promise it's a lot better than it was. So, feeling pretty snazzy about that. I almost feel too lazy to do the lights, but this harsh light keeps making me like want another option. And I'm like, those fairy lights would be nice to just have on. So, this actually took me like a really long time because I wasn't satisfied with it. But I think I'm satisfied with it now. Because it was just like an awkward length. I thought it would just be like that, but then there's extra, and then I just, yeah. So, this is the vibe. This is what my mirror looks like. I'm really proud of it, actually. So this weekend when I go through all these videos, I've taken so many like little vlogs, and I might have to delete so many of them because I don't think I can fit them all into a video to post, but it's my plan, and then it'll post at some point. Usually YouTube videos take days to freaking upload, so it'll post eventually, and then I will I don't know. But I'm also going to do a little bit of blogging. So we'll see. Anyway, good night. This is crazy. Who do they think they are? What the heck? Oh, that's cute. The dollar is strong today, or maybe the pound is weak. I'm not exactly sure, but we were at this, we went to the bookstore, and I got a book I needed for class, and then next to the bookstore there's this like vintage shop, basically a thrift store, but it was called like vintage shop, and they had like so much American stuff, but we were looking at these tote bags, and I was like, I'll buy it. Like, I saw this one, it's Ravenclaw, and I was like, I don't know, like, I'll buy it if it's cheap. And then they were like, oh, like, it's £3 or £5 for two. And then someone else also wanted to buy one, so we ended up like buying it together. And it was like, I looked up the exchange rate, And today, it didn't really matter the exchange rate because I just spent like the $5 that I had in my wallet. But still, I was like, let me look up the exchange rate, like depending, like if this is expensive today, like I don't know if I can do it. And I looked up the exchange rate and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, but £3 was only like $3.80 today. And so it was like, I think like £1 was like 80 cents, which is really good because a few weeks ago, like £1 was like 50 cents, which is like really bad. And so, and it's been in like, it's like recently it's been £1 is 70 cents, like this whole past week. But today was £1 is 80 cents. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good for me today. So I was really happy about that. I didn't like buy a lot of stuff though. I was kind of like, oh, if I'm gonna buy stuff, I should just buy it today. Cause yeah, you gotta be looking at those exchange rates, y'all. Okay, life hack. Oh my gosh, I do have bedhead and I did just see people in there. Life hack. So if I go down my elevator and all the way to the basement, down a few stairs, out the door, and then across this little alleyway, I get to the back of the student union. The doors are just open and they have a bubbler that I can fill up my water. And right here is my house. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Madison for the life hack, honestly. She's a real one. Us Americans gotta stick together. Because everyone else is like, how are they still alive? Fit check. Filled up the giant water. Honestly, it's kind of a fun adventure. Maybe I won't order a Brita.
Look at yours! I said, do you speak my language? He smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. He said, do you come from a land down under?
The incredible thing about being this far north is that the sunset time has changed an hour in the past week. Literally, it's so drastic. I got here and it was like sunset before like 4 p.m. and now it's like sunset at like 5 p.m. which is just, I mean, it's so gray today, so it's barely like, it feels like the sun is already set, but it just gives you that little bit of optimism.